In the skies above Lyril, the light and shadow gathered for one final reckoning, and as the storm rose, Aurelius ascended. Above them, Aurelius ascended higher, his glow intensifying until it blazed across the heavens. Voraxia seethed, fury igniting her blood. She flung her wings wide, darkness boiling from her scales. Enough of this death! Their light is no shield. I will tear it open myself. Let her try. From his throat burst a torrent of pure celestial fire, searing and absolute. It tore the darkness apart like dawn splitting night. The beam struck, and Voraxia reeled back, her shriek piercing the stars, not from flame, but from unbearable purity that seared her shadowed form.
That light! It should not exist, she spat. Fury twisted into disbelief.
Voraxia hissed, the abyssal dominion will rise again, and all your light will burn for nothing. The celestial dragon carved a vast arc across the heavens, trailing a river of starlight that burned brighter than the dawn. His voice carried not as thunder, but as a calm, resonant, unshakable prayer. You underestimate the light, Shadow Queen. At his vow, the horizon tore apart. The dark host erupted, a torrent of wings and fire. Dozens of shadow dragons surged forward, their roars ripping the sky.
The first collision came like the crash of worlds. Across the battlefield, Aurelius rose with his celestial kin. Vast silver wings cut the darkened sky, each beat scattering cascades of starlight. Together, the celestials formed a living constellation, arcs of brilliance, weaving radiant shields as they crashed into the onyx swarm head on. High above, Voraxia wheeled, her wings stretched with terrible grace, smoke coiling from her form like banners of war. Let me show you the black sun. From her chest, darkness erupted, swelling into a sphere of wreathed shadow that devoured the light. The heavens dimmed. Stars winked out as though swallowed whole. The world sank beneath an endless eclipse. Even Lyrael's crystalline hum faltered beneath the suffocating shroud. But Aurelius did not bend. His massive form burned with inner radiance, scales flowing like molten silver. He soared higher, cutting into the darkness, his voice steady as a hymn. Let the skies remember their light. His chest blazed, and with thunderous exhale he released a pulse of pure celestial fire. A spear of brilliance lanced upward, striking the heart of the black sun. Light met shadow. The collision detonated with catastrophic fury. Silver radiance tangled with crimson flame, shredding the swirling shroud into ribbons of smoke. Fixtures of brilliance cracked through the false night, tearing holes where the daylight poured through in burning shafts. Below, Galen staggered beneath the weight of that clash. The oppressive dark clawed at his spirit, dragging at his breath, smothering his courage. Yet the crystal bow pulsed steadily in his hands, its rhythm echoing Aurelius' song. Her presence surged through their bond, fierce and unyielding, lending him her strength.
Together, he thought, always together. He whispered through clenched teeth, "Let them see." Radiance bloomed between his fingers, an arrow of pure intent drawn from the marrow of his will. He loosed, and the shot became a spear of sunfire tearing through the dark.
It struck the heart of the black sun. For a heartbeat the void held, seething. Then the sphere fractured, erupting into a storm of light. Shards of brilliance cascaded outward in blinding waves, rippling through the shadows. The black sun buckled, fractured, and burst. The suffocating night ripped apart, light shattering through in radiant torrents. Voraxia's eyes burned with venom, her malice pouring out in waves, so hot it warped the air. She lashed her tail again and again, every stroke carving scars of darkness across the broken dawn. Aurelius drew alongside, his vast silver wings scattering the last tatters of shadow. His eyes burned with steady fire. What Aurelius spoke next was in the ancient draconic tongue.
ISP doubt plesionomino, sharchi shilta t hoop malrak. Where visupra geo confon ekes light, and svadrav koi tirik, mobi geo que thric refuge, tangis persvek wedrasnameko.
The draconic challenge echoed through the air like a toiling star bell. its echoes lingering even as the storm unraveled. Voraxia's colossal wings shivered, and Voraxia's hiss rose in furious denial. Yet neither dared remain. Silence fell once more across the realm. But this was not the fragile hush of dawn. It was a silence after a storm, heavy with the breath of the weary, the echo of dragon wings, and the fragile rising promise of hope. For now the battle was ended, but in every heart a truth burned bright. It was only the beginning.